News at 5:30 begins with a disturbing discovery during a traffic stop in Baltimore County. Police found the bodies of two children inside of a car's trunk. Their aunt has been charged in this case, and get this, according to court documents, one of the children may have died more than a year ago. Ava Joy Burnett has more.
33-year-old Nicole Johnson faces several charges, including 2 counts of child abuse that resulted in the death of 2 children under 13. Baltimore County Police say an officer pulled Johnson over late Wednesday night, and when the officer told her that the car had to be towed because the tags were fake, the officer detected the unmistakable odor of decomposition. At one point, the officer even noticed that the clear bag contained maggots inside. According to the department, after repeated requests from the officer, Johnson removed the blanket, exposing the decomposing body of a young child. And after a search, officers found a plastic bag that was tied up. The bag was opened, revealing another decomposing body of a young child. Police say those kids were her 7-year-old niece, Jocelyn Johnson, and her 5-year-old nephew, Larry O'Neill. Johnson told police she was taking care of the kids because their mother wasn't able to. But the mom told police she tried to get her kids back, and in March of 2021, she arranged to have the children returned, but the defendant never showed. According to the documents, the little girl may have been dead since last year. The aunt told police that in May of 2020, when they were staying at an inn off Pulaski Highway, she hit the little girl, and the girl fell and hit her head. Johnson described placing her niece inside a suitcase and carrying her around in a car for many months. And according to the documents, Johnson also told police that the little boy had an injury about 2 months ago, and he never woke up, and that she placed his deceased body in the plastic tote and kept him in the trunk with a sister. Johnson remains in jail with no bond.
Wow. Baltimore County Police are still trying to piece together the exact timeline of what happened there. They're asking anyone who may have seen or heard anything related to this case over the past year to give them a call.
So what up with the YouTube fam? This the Real Boss TV A15. You already know what it is, man. And I just had to touch on this little blog right here about this lady, 33-year-old Nicole Johnson. Well, now this case right here is real disturbing to me, and I don't really understand it, but basically she got pulled over in Baltimore County, and they found 2 kids deceased in her trunk. And one of the kids, they said she possibly been driving around with for about a year. And the crazy thing about it is, when she got pulled over, from the reports, it's saying that she was like, I'll be out in a month, or I'll be out like in a couple hours and all that. And she'll be able to tell a story on the news. But then that's when the police started smelling, some decayed bodies or whatever, and they popped the trunk open, and then she tried to flee. So I wonder what she means by tell her story. Like, is it something deeper than what's going on? But like I said, I don't know. That's just crazy. Like, she's driving around with them in a car. Like, and I think she had like bad license plates too. So I don't. Now, as you can see, it says Baltimore aunt drove a car for a year with kids stuffed in the trunk. You know what I'm saying? They said for about a year, the Baltimore woman allegedly drove a car with a gruesome secret. The dead body of her 7-year-old niece stashed in a suitcase in the trunk. Then in May, she allegedly cracked the trunk's lid to dump the body of her 5-year-old nephew beside it. Now, it wasn't until months later that police discovered the decomposing bodies of the siblings, Jocelyn Marie and James Johnson, and Larry Darnell. Now, Baltimore County Police said in a statement Thursday night that they were grieving over the unspeakable deaths after discovering the kids' bodies when they pulled 33-year-old Nicole Johnson over in a traffic stop late Wednesday. Police say the brother and sister, weighing just 21 and 18 pounds respectively, were likely malnourished before their death. Their fragile bodies were brought to the office of the chief medical examiner to determine the cause of death, and Johnson was charged Friday in connection with neglect and abuse that caused the deaths. Now, this was a pretty devastating incident, They said Friday, adding that it shocked the whole community and had a significant impact on the county's patrol officer, forensic technicians, and detectives. And the documents, alleged that Johnson told detectives that her sister had asked her to look after the kids in 2019 when she was unable to care for them. Documents also say that Johnson said she had grown angry with Jocelyn more than a year ago, hitting her niece several times, resulted in the girl hitting her head. Johnson allegedly told police she put her niece's body in a suitcase in her car in May of 2020, where it has remained ever since. Wow. So she was riding around since 2020 of May with that girl in a suitcase. She allegedly told police that Larry's body was put in a bag alongside Johnson's a year later, without proving details about how or when he died. Johnson was charged with multiple counts of negligent and child abuse charges, as well as failing to report the deaths to the authorities. And then she was initially issued a citation to appear in court after cops noticed unauthorized tags and registration on her car. So that's how it all started, and found she had been driving without license. The car would be towed, and officer allegedly told Johnson it was then. It reported that Johnson told the officer, "It don't matter, I won't be in here 5 days. Y'all going to see me on the news making my big debut," she allegedly added. So I wonder what she means by that. The officer smelled the decomposing bodies, while getting ready to tow the car, you know what I'm saying? And they said she tried to flee at that time. And the officer opened the trunk and uncovered the first body in a suitcase before discovering a second plastic bag. That document said Johnson was then taken into custody. And even a neighbor told them that it didn't make any sense. They didn't sense anything was off. They always seemed happy when the young lady dropped them off. They never seemed like something was wrong, They seemed like happy kids. And then they also said for someone who has been taking care of children for 20 years, I can't fathom, that could happen. So she been taking care of kids for 20 years. I don't know what's going on, man. Like, I know these times is hard. People going through a lot of stuff, but this is just crazy. And they say that the mother of the kids had repeatedly tried to reach her sister after leaving her son and daughter in their aunt's care in 2019, but had been unsuccessful in finding them until she was told of their deaths. And they're still coming through the details of the case, to determine the cause of the kids, and that ended up in the trunk. Due to the nature of this case, it will take time to determine exact circumstances that led to their, death or whatever. And basically, that's everything in a nutshell. And that's what I say. That right there is it's kind of scary when you think about it, man. because you don't know what these people be doing. But something like that, like I don't know what was going on in this lady's mind or in her life, but it eventually come to light. So I know everybody's looking for an update on this, and I'm gonna keep y'all up to date on this, man. This is Real Boss TV 815. I'm signing out, man. Like, subscribe, and check out some more of my content. I got a lot of good content on here. I appreciate everybody. Peace.